Ooh, giving me the hard questions. So this comes in the context of a video where I said that I'm okay with LGBTQ characters in movies and TV shows. This person asked, well, what about children's movies and TV shows? To that, I would say yes, maybe. So if you're LGBTQ or if you're not LGBTQ, please stick around and at least hear the heart of my concerns, as well as what I think to be true. So in kindergarten and math class, I learned very simple addition and subtraction. I was also not given any homework and I was given time to play. But when I got into 5th grade, for example, I had at least one homework assignment, and usually it was math and we were doing multiplication, division, and other things. So the idea is that as children grow, they are able to take on more responsibility. They are able to understand more about the world around them. Now, the thing that all of us are going to have to face is that the LGBTQ community is part of that world. So, me personally, I would say that we could attempt to do the same thing with LGBTQ movies and shows and even education. Now, in case anyone wants to accuse the LGBTQ community or me or something like that of advocating for grooming, there's a couple things to note. Point number one would just be, I do share your concern. There was a TikTok video where this guy was talking to a woman and he showed a actual book that was advocating for middle schoolers or trying to train middle schoolers in how to go on LGBTQ apps and get favors. Now, that is nasty, that's bad, and that's predatory and really unfortunate. But just the same, you have Muslims, conservatives, and you have Christian conservatives, for example, who are arguing that we can marry children. So on both ends of the spectrum, we have to be careful to let children be children and not to sexualize them insofar as we are able to do so. Now, this is very difficult in our current culture because due to the sexual revolution, as well as I would say, a hedonistic ethic, children are growing up in a culture in which sex is totally okay and is quite literally everywhere. It's hard to escape. But I do share that concern on both sides of the aisle. Both sides of the aisle need to not do that with kids. However, both my side, which is a little more conservative, Christians, and the LGBTQ community both have to be honest with themselves. We both want the same thing out of children, which is to adopt the values and beliefs that we have about the world. Christians want their children to love and accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior, and the LGBTQ community want their children to be able to identify however they wish, to be able to transition if they want to, and these sorts of things. We both want children to be able to believe the same thing. We both want children to believe what we believe. So, with those considerations in mind, if we could have a way of teaching kids at an age-appropriate level with movies or TV shows that the LGBTQ community exists and we not, say, sexualize them in the process, then I wouldn't necessarily have an issue with that. If you're a Christian and a parent, you might say that something is wrong here and you might try to say that your child will not be viewing that media, and that's understandable and that's your call. I would just say that, much like Christians will teach their child the values that they want to have, you can also do the same while having this kind of media. Christians already do this with the kind of media that we see. So I do think that children are delicate, right? The early stages of life are the most formative years of your life, and all people need to be very careful with children. But I do think there would be a way in which to educate children through movies and TV shows, both, as a Christian at least I would say, both about the Christian faith and culture and where we would say we disagree. And if LGBTQ characters are in children's movies and TV shows, then what that allows is for the parents to have a discussion with their children about this sort of thing that will hopefully be full of love and grace, even though they disagree. So let me know you guys' thoughts on all this.